Welcome again to Connections. In this part of the program that is our unconference model. That means that I know that the introduction was keynote speaker and I have something to say, as always. But in this case, really we want to make a short, we'll see, introduction to our work in this morning that is not happening not here in the Hirsch and Bella, Vic and Bella Hirsch Theater. It's not listening to me. It's exactly what you will find out when you will go to every one of the tables that you have in your program. I expect that everyone receive your name and the first table that you need to attend. And this is exactly what we are trying to share with all of you. First of all, what we are really trying to offer to all of you. The same thing that we start before 2 years and a half, more or less, to do with our lay leadership and our staff. That means to sit together around a virtual, after 2 years became hybrid, but the first time was only by Zoom. The people are asking me where I am living. I am moving between two holy cities, that is Brooklyn and Jerusalem. But I really need to share to all of you that my home is a Zoom call. And I have 4 windows. I am moving from one window to other one, and this is the place that we start to move on this process. I mean, to have open conversation with our lay and professional leaders about how we can explain what the World Union for Progressive Judaism is. No? Big question. I suppose that everyone has the same question, and then we say, okay, we need to come back to our roots, we need to come back to our mission, okay, but also we need to open a conversation, a dialogue, and then we start to work on a document that is the value proposition of the World Union. Means not to have only the statement of the mission. This is from the statement of the mission to break down about the more important thing that the progressive reform liberal Judaism offer, that is values. We are driven by our values, and then we translate our values to the structure of the organization and the content of our programs. In this really process, we respect the history and the legacy of our mentors, of our teachers. We are not starting from scratch, but we need to renew our legacy. 1 year and a half, we work with our board members and for our staff about the value proposition document. For us, is work in process. It's not a final product. It's an open process. And this is exactly what we share with all of you in the app. The last version, it's not the last document, the last version of the value proposition of the World Union. Now, we move on. We really expect to have the opportunity again to connect in person. And this is an amazing opportunity. And we are so grateful for this day, that we are all together in person, in the place that we dream. The beginning, in the past, we work right now in the present, but we are driven only by the future. We reopen our headquarters here in Merkat Simshon Beit Shmuel. We offer to all of you the renewal of the Blaustein Hall, and we have dinner tonight, and tomorrow our Shacharit service. That means that this place needs really to welcome the same spirit of the Reform Liberal movement worldwide. Now, we offer to you some input, but we challenge you to be full partners of this worldwide open conversation. The way that we want to do that is to put in every one of our tables some of us to introduce to you the task, what we want to do, and to work in a round table. Round table is our paradigm. not for the session, for the World Union. Because in a round table that for us is very connected to the Halacha and the Torah and the mitzvot and the spirit of the Jewish tradition, the round table is our Shulchan Aruch. It's the table that we offer ready to work together. Because Halacha is the way that we are going together. Halacha is not a prescription. It's the Jewish teaching how we can work together. But we cannot really work together if we are not together, if we don't decide to come back from where we are coming and to dream the vision and ambition where we want to arrive. There are challenging times worldwide. But we have an opportunity. First of all, we need to be clear about what is the added value of the World Union. How we can really avoid overlapping competition and to do exactly the same thing that our fellows and partners in the reform movement are doing. This idea to rethink ourselves is not to justify that we must to exist, it's the opposite. We need really to rethink why we exist, what we are doing, for where, for what, and for whom. The introduction, before we move to the tables, that is the real thing that we need to do, is to really understand that our approach, our paradigm, is that we are moving from the old-fashioned structure of an umbrella organization to the new paradigm that is a network, a hub connector. Now we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of Israel, but for us, in our family, we are celebrating 50 years that Dick and Bella Hirsch make a strategic decision that is to move from the first center of the reform movement, that was Germany and Europe, with which we moved to America, and he was an American rabbi, very well known, in a very good position, the director founder of the Religion Action Center, and he made a change in the direction of the reform movement worldwide. He made a decision to include in the reform liberal approach a new mitzvah. Yes, a new mitzvah, a new halacha for the reform movement. If we are reform Jews, we are Zionists. We stand by Israel. We support Israel. We believe in Israel. We dream with Israel worldwide. No matter about the political mess that we have with every government, for different reasons. Maybe never worse than today, but the government of Israel is on the agenda of the Israeli politics. But the dream and the values of the state of Israel is for all the Jewish people. And we need to have a voice, and we need to have a place. And to take both the place of the Jewish people that we never give up. And to this place, in 1973, only with a caravan, was the first office of the World Union in this place. 50 years. Now, we need to renew the legacy. That means what we are doing here in Jerusalem, in Merkaz Simson, in Beit Shmuel, in Blaustein Hall, what we are doing here. Here we are rebuilding a hub connector, a platform, in a symmetric approach to have one-by-one conversations. When you are in a round table, like we offer right now, there is not head of the table, the opposite. And we have the role model of the state of Israel for nothing, something that was impossible to believe. If you are rich, if you are poor, you are on the left, you are on the right. Around the table, we are brothers and sisters working together because we are one. This methodology that we are offering right now is not really to approve what we offer to you. The opposite. We offer to you an input to listen you. What real needs you have? What really want to change? How you translate these values and vision to very concrete actions, because we believe in the beauty of the mosaic of the unity into diversity. And this is the strength of Jewish people. Not only like a religion, not only like a spiritual movement. We are, first of all, a cultural civilization. And only with the Reform movement. We are the only movement that is really open-minded to be wide, inclusive, and to bring every Jew that really want to belong to come in. And this is our work, to outreach more and more Jewish people in any place, in any country, in any context, to welcome them home. This is our challenge and this is our work. Also, our work is really to realize that we are not really working from one generation to another generation to imposing the new generation what they need to do for us. I really encourage the young people to say, never accept that because you are young, you are the future. No, because you are young, you are the present. You are not the future. That means that we need to have a symmetric, open conversation, also with our kids. No? We learn from them. In some point, we need to trust them. We need to empower them, and we need to listen to them. That means that this paradigm decides also that we don't have no more a youth department, a place that we put the youth and wait. No. We want to have a young movement. And to be young is a matter only for spirit, not of age. That means that we are renewing, and we are uniting, and also we are showing because we are together. To move on about the roundtables, we will start working about values. And you will receive some instruction how we can discuss about these values, and which is your feedback, your interpretation, and also the freedom to change. Maybe you say, no, for me it's not relevant. Maybe this is not the value that I really want to put in the priorities of our organization. Do it. We encourage you to change. We encourage you to create, to be disruptive, and to be creative. But first of all, before we move on, I want to thank to every one of the people that make time and effort to add value to the value proposition. This is a collaborative document. And the document is only a skill. This is something that the document is a document. But you need to know that in this document there are voices of young people for different countries, for different cultures, for different contexts. And this is exactly the strength of our movement. And this is exactly the beauty of the Jewish people. Before internet was created, the Jewish people was a global internet. And before technology came to us to connect, we was connect, because what really is the key issue that we believe that we are one, because we are all the time around the same table. No matter where you live, no matter what is at your age. The first table that we have is our Torah. We came to the Torah to read it. In the cycle of our life, in the cycle of our week, in the cycle of our years. We invite the people to come at home, because to be Jewish is to open your heart and your home and your table and to welcome the stranger and brothers and sisters. To put in context the work of the value proposition, you received the application and also the instruction of Rabbi Stacy that you need to come here prepared to make some homework. Because the idea is not that I need to explain, not to read, not to share, something that you can read by yourself, and now we're moving to work. But I want to be clear about, to start from the same page, what is the word? We are community. Really, we can build a global, progressive community. We need your expertise. You know how to do that. You are coming for real communities and real work. We are asking you to help us to build the regional communities and to build the global progressive community. You are not audience. of the World Union. You are partners and stakeholders, key players of the World Union. When you meet me and you ask me what the World Union is, my proposal in the next days, I want to ask you what the World Union is, and to listen to you, and to work together. The first really strategic point is that we need, like World Union,
in Mercat Simpson, in Betchmuel, in Blaustenhof, what we are doing here. Here we are rebuilding a hub connect of the mosaic of the unity into diversity.
Innovation is related to creativity, freedom, and disruption. And this is the idea of the reform movement. Innovation is to reform the reform. Innovation for us is to progress our progressive Judaism. We need to move, we need to change, and we need to have discussions. If everything is quiet, if everything is okay, if everything is going and following someone, we are in a risk. This is exactly the challenge that we have. What is the innovative, progressive, liberal Judaism that we all want to offer to this global community that we are building together? Another important really point for me is how we can promote and to represent the progressive, liberal, worldwide agenda. This is for me the question about the compass. What is the agenda of the reform movement worldwide? And how we can really build a place to have deliberation and discussion, how we set up the agenda. The World Union have there a very critical role, not to say what we need to do, not to build the agenda, but to be the facilitator, to be the hub connector, and to say we need to be together to set up our priorities. And we cannot really follow one center of our worldwide community. We need to be inclusive, we need to respect minorities, and we need to really respect diversity. And this way only depends on us. The last point is for me the first mission of the World Union, that is connections and leadership. We need to support and we need to encourage to connect leaders around the world that are leading our communities and to feel that you are not alone, that we are together, that you have different contexts, but we have the same challenge. And I don't know what is your experience, but for me in the last 2 days, working almost 3 years in this position, the 2 last days give me the energy and the meaning of this organization. Only when we met. Nothing can replace to be together and to feel that we are really one. But not one to complain. No, we are one to lead. And this is for me the strategic point that the World Union add value. We are not a gathering to have numbers of people together. We need to be very selective to head-hunting leaders. This is our focus, leadership. This is what we need to bring in. We are not running programs about any issue. We need to be really accurate and very focusing and specific about leadership. And I came back again and again to say that a leader is someone that takes responsibility to change realities, not to complain about realities. This is leadership. We are not victims of the circumstances in any place. We know that like Jewish people we can't really cry because we have a long story of tragedies. But we are not the professional victims of the history and the context. We are here to keep going. To keep going in one direction, building for all of us, what right now in marketing is very classic to talk about that. All these things that I talk about, global progressive community, like builders, to promote our common global agenda, to support and to encourage leadership and to connect each other are key issues to build for the World Union a blue ocean. A blue ocean is an idea very powerful in marketing and business, that you need to move from the red ocean to a blue one. What means a red ocean? The red ocean is exactly in the place that we are today. It's red because we are eating each other, because we are in competition, because we are overlapping, but we are aligned in Sinat Hinah, because we are aligned in worship of ego, on power, imposing, leading others, not listening others. This is exactly the red ocean. If you stay yourself all your life in the red ocean, first of all, you will lose blood. And you will lose all the energy to survive. If you find some new place, a new challenge that we call the blue ocean, you move in the same ocean to a new opportunity. Quiet, peaceful, a lot of work, but a huge opportunity. We believe, to finalize, in the paradigm that can integrate all these points, because all what I said before, only a global organization can do it. Think. It's not against nothing and no one. This is something that only a global organization can really run. But to do it, we need to be clear about the paradigm of the ideological approach to fulfill these points, that is the explanation of what we really exist like a global organization. The content is coming right now in the tables. But the paradigm to articulate all this conversation, I call it the global Judaism. That is the combination of global and local. Think global and act local. Okay, this is fine, like, okay, I'm saying it's perfect, global, local. What means for us? Like Reform Progressive Jews. Means that we are together to have the common ground of the global conversation, dialogue, interaction, empowerment. It's very important to belong to a global table and conversation. It's not more umbrella, because umbrella is top-down organization. That means that the global decide for you. You belong to me, you are affiliated to me, you are part of me, and you need to wait what we, the leaders of the umbrella, will decide for you. This is not global. This is hierarchical, old-fashioned model, and the young people, for sure, doesn't want to belong to an umbrella, to a federation, affiliation, and to be under the adults' domain to do what we want for them. And you can really realize what I am saying in your home. The global dimension makes us one in the common ground. But the local dimension is the only dimension that you can change reality. You cannot change reality in the global conversation. We can have 100 connections conference and we can fix nothing here. We can really build together the vision, we can talk together about the global agenda, but the only opportunity that we have to move on is every one of you coming back to the field and to make the right decision. How you articulate the global conversation with your local action. And now we decide that the World Union is not more in the top and is not more in the front. We are in the back and we are with you, working with real people, with real things, because we are a family of families and we are one. Thank you so much for your time and your attention.